Hey, how's it going, everybody? Today I'm going to be bringing you a deck profile of my Shaddoll invoked. This is my take on the deck, and hopefully can help you get a guideline on how to build it, and hopefully gives you some ideas of cards you need to kind of look out for if you are trying to pick it up. But yeah, let's go and get right into it. I still run the 3 Mathematician. He's a pretty good starter still. When he's normal summoned, you get to send any level 4 or lower from your deck to the graveyard, and then if it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you get to draw a card. And I still run the 3 Shaddoll Schemata. If it is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you get to send another Shaddoll from your deck to the graveyard. And then if it's flipped, you get to just target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it. Then I run 2 Alistair the Invoker. Most likely we'll bump it up to 3 once I get 3. But basically, if he's in your hand, you can send him to the graveyard and target one monster, target one fusion monster you control. It gains 1,000 attack and defense until the end of the turn. And then when it's normal summoned, you get to add a invocation from your deck to your hand. Then 2 Hedgehog. If it's flipped, you get to add a Shaddoll fusion. If sent to the graveyard by card effect, you get to add a Shaddoll from your deck to your hand. 2 Windy. When it's sent by card effect, you get to special summon one Shaddoll from the deck in face down defense position. And if it's flipped, you can either special summon one from the deck face down defense or face up defense. Then 2 Effect Veiler, just kind of try to help slow your opponent down. For the 1-ofs, 1 Falco, lets you special summon him from the graveyard if he's sent by card effect. And then if he's flipped, you can special summon another Shaddoll from the graveyard. 1 Beast, if he's sent by card effect, you get to draw 1 card. If he's flipped, you draw 2 cards, discard 1. I still run a couple of the clowns, 1 Trick Clown and 1 Hat Tricker. If he's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon him by paying 1,000 life points. And then Hat Tricker, if there's 2 or more monsters on the field, you can special summon it from hand. 1 BLS and 1 Gizmic to round off the monsters. For the spells, I run 3 Shaddoll Fusion, 3 Al Shaddoll Fusion, 2 Invocation, and 2 Super Poly. That's a ton of fusion cards, so if you wanted to cut down on some, you could take out one of the El Shaddolls. But yeah, so for the rest of the spells, 2 Magical Meltdown and 2 Pot of Desires, and 1 Foolish Burial for the last of the spells. Now I do run a small trap lineup, so you can definitely take these out for cards like Nibiru, Called by the Grave, or Infinite Permanence if you have those cards. But I run 2 Solemn Strikes, the 1 Solemn Judgment, the 1 Solemn Warning, and 1 Storming Mirror Force. But yeah, these definitely can be taken out for any of those other cards, or any cards you would like to replace them with, because I know a lot of people don't really care to use traps nowadays. So yeah. Off to the extra deck. The 1 invoked Caliga. It takes an Alistair and a Dark, and then if a player's monster attempts to activate an effect for the rest of the turn, they can't activate any effects, and then each player can only attack with 1 monster. Then 2 of the Winda. This locks both players into special summoning only once per turn, and it can't be destroyed by card effect. 2 constructs, sorry. When it's special summoned, you get to send 1 Shaddoll from the deck to the graveyard, and then it destroys any special summon monster at the start of damage step. And then when it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, or when it's just sent to the graveyard, you get to add a Shaddoll fusion from the graveyard. Then 1 of the invoked Agoides. If I mess that up, my bad. But basically, it's a Alistair the Invoker and 1 fusion monster. And then if it's special summoned or monsters are special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls. and then you can banish one of your fusion monsters in the graveyard, and until the end of your opponent's next turn, he gains the attack of the banished monster. And then one invoked Macabre. Once per turn, if a spell, trap, or monster activates an effect, you can discard the same type, and if you do, negate and banish that card. Then one Starving Venom Fusion, just for the Super Poly plays. And then the El Shaddoll Shikanaga. I do run the Gaga Cowboy. You can take that out for anything else if you don't really care for time. One Alistair the Invoker of Madness. One Unicorn. One of the Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax. One Boral Sword Dragon, sorry. And one Borreload Dragon. But yeah, that's just my take on the deck. It's pretty fun. Pretty strong as well, and if you have those other cards I was talking about like Nibiru and all that, it can just be that much better. But yeah, hopefully this has helped you out a bit. If you have any questions, go and leave it in the comment section down below. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.